There was a shooting around 9:30 this morning inside the lower flat of a concrete two-story house at the corner of Vernon Street and Magazine Road. 32-year-old Bartholomew Lucas was shot to the groin by his common-law wife, who reportedly took an unlicensed gun and fired 3 shots. Police say the gun violence was the result of an argument between the couple as Mejia's 13-year-old daughter was at school. Neighbours say that the woman, 33-year-old Tanice Mejia, is a victim of domestic violence, which has been extensively reported to the police department.
I know for a fact that he used to be hitting on her, beat her all the time. A lot of time, I was the one who had to call the police so they could come and take him from her house.
Go ahead.
Every time in the beat pan she, every time, I have to be the one call the police so they could come and take him out of the house.
You said day and night this has always happened,
sometimes
right?
a day and sometimes a night. Sometimes I beat her for hours. Shanice ended up shot the guy. Whatever the boy was, her boyfriend, or used to be boyfriend. She shot him and she just left the scene.
Following the shooting, Mejia reportedly ran from the scene and hopped into a dollar van and escaped. An injured Lucas made his way onto Vernon Street, where he was taken to the Carl Hushner Memorial Hospital by a police patrol. Investigators arrived shortly after to process the scene, where they discovered 3 expended 9mm shells. The firearm, however, has not been found, despite a search of the house, which was carried out in the presence of a justice of the peace. Officers also searched an overgrown lot to the rear of the building, but came up empty-handed.
She lived there. He lived through Majestic Alley, as I know. You understand?
So what you understand happened this morning?
Well, I don't know what happened, but I not long come, you know. I not too long come over here. And I come because I know she that my neighbor, and I know that I used to be the one try rescue her. You understand? So then I come, I see police and things, so I may think that Shanice get hurt. You understand? Then when I come on the scene, then they tell me so that how I can't enter. You understand? That then I know something real bad going on.
Ironically, this case of domestic violence occurred as the international 16 Days of Activism campaign under the theme Hear Me Too, End Gender-Based Violence Against Women and Children is nearing completion. This morning's incident sends a clear picture that gender-based violence against women and children continues to be a very real cause for the health of the country. There are increasing cases of domestic violence that affect both adults and children. Kim Simplis Barrow says 2019 will see an increase in advocacy.
It has got to stop. It is really outrageous that we are, despite all our efforts, we're still battling gender-based violence. We have got to focus on gender-based violence, and it is for the health of our entire country, for the health of the children, for the health of families and friends. Everyone gets affected by gender-based violence. It's not just the 2 persons that are involved. If kids are involved, the kids are affected, and then they grow up into that same cycle. So we have to stop it, and it has to start in the homes. It has to start with us implementing really strict laws and legislations to enforce penalties.
But until that time, the reality for the victims is when is enough enough, and what happens when it gets to that point.
She been fed up. She been tell me tired of, but she afraid for him because he not the kind he always come around the beat her. And she afraid for her life, you know. She afraid one day, but like I tell her, you gotta be careful because one day you might get hurt. One day you end up crippled, one day you might dead.
Duane, Moody for News 5.